What's up, everyone? It's Friday, my favorite day of the week now. International Master William Pascal. We are playing 5+3 casual challenges against everybody. No special VIP benefit for the subscribers. I will make an exception only for this one game. For the first game with Gladys Troll, he challenged me to 5-5-960 just because I'm just waking up. I don't mind playing one game that's like a tiny bit longer, and to appease him. So I'm usually very sleepy and kind of slow to wake up, and my results have been pretty bad in the first games of the streams lately. So I don't mind getting this as a warm-up game. We just had a stream last night, the subscriber stream. That, didn't feel like the usual stream because I only played, I think, 2 games. I almost feel like I didn't play really yesterday at all. So it's kind of funny. Here, I've been making a conscious effort to get more of a classical kind of center going on against Troll, because it seems of late like I've been losing the battle for the center. Let's try symmetric here. Symmetrical. Hyperpotsu says, I can't believe Caruana's leading. Well, I'm surprised he's leading, but I can believe it. I'm not quite as skeptical, but he is 27.99 or something. He's got a very high rating. I mean, he hasn't done anything spectacular in the last year or so. Nobody's done anything spectacular in this tournament, though. Everyone is a great player. Everyone has played well, but they're all human, as we can see from the last round. Everyone is human. B4 trying to take over the center. Open up his bishop on G7. I want to maintain my center here. What little center there is of it, with that pawn on C5. So next move, F7 is a real problem here. You think it's a problem in the original starting position. It's even worse now because it's not protected by anything. Yeah. You can cover it with a knight on D6, but that's really just a temporary stopgap. In other words, like knight F6, knight GF6, knight G5, etc. I'll have to put my knight on H6, it looks like. Man, I hate when that happens. But there's no good way to cover it with anything else. I mean, knight E6 is even worse. Then knight E6 is illegal. Knight D6 leaves my knight on an extremely awkward square. Would it be logical to play knight D6 anyway? It's just too much time to spend on this decision. Whatever. Yeah, we saw all the games yesterday. Excuse me. Yeah, I see everyone's talking about what you're talking about, Tushar, that he had takes on C8. Yeah, that's like the third game where there have been really, really bad oversights by the players. The time control is really, I don't think, to blame. Most of these players are used to playing an even slightly faster time control. I guess just the pressure, it's a lot of pressure psychologically, this kind of winner take all, as I said earlier. I really like that line for white. I played the same-ish with white quite a bit in those Benoni positions. White's structure is so good that I thought after like 10 moves, I was pretty sure Aronian would win. The pawn structure, the pawn chain from typically from G2 to D5 is very strong. The way Grishuk played it, leaving himself with isolated pawns and not castling, was just great for white. I still think Kramnik will win, but maybe the loss to Fabi will affect him. Yeah, I mean, that's the key question, JCS. How badly will that loss affect Kramnik? I mean, he's not like an emotional waste, he's obviously very tough, but that's pretty hard to accept, I mean, I kind of think what Kramnik did is very ironic. If you consider the fact that Kramnik won with black against Aronian, where Aronian played this nonsense with white, with like bishop takes c6 and h3 and castles kingside. If you think about that, that's how Kramnik won, by exploiting this passive lame line. And then Kramnik turns around and plays the same kind of passive lame thing with like queen e2 and loses. He's almost got to be like, wow, I'm such an idiot. You know, I basically did what, you know, what Aronian did, like throwing away my white. Although then you got to make the argument, well, Kramnik all the time does stuff like that. I mean, look at his opening against Grishuk. It's like totally harmless. So, but it's going to affect him to some degree. Losing to Caruana was ridiculous, you know. It may have just been the pressure. You're sitting there like, if I win this game, I'm going to have 3.5 out of 4, and you can't stop thinking about it, you know, and you start putting more and more pressure on yourself, like during the game. The concrete thought of, I'm going to have 3.5 out of 4, I'm going to be like crushing the tournament, and you start to kind of be your own worst enemy. I don't know Kramnik that well, you know, to know his psychology, but thinking about it from a competitive standpoint, I know that's what I would be like, putting extra pressure on myself in that situation. So that's my new philosophy here in Chess 960. Just really focus on the center, getting a more classical center, more classical control of the center. Because in the past, like 10 games against Troll, I've won on time in a lot of bad positions. I've constantly got a disadvantage. Here I thought it's not too bad. We've got to... I mean, he's got such control of e5 here. Play hedgehog style with d6. What's he going to do? Like c5? But I've got good control of e4. On the other hand, I don't have to rush with the d6. But on the other hand, I have to keep ready to keep f7 protected. We could take time out to play knight e4, but that's really developing that piece without any backup. I guess d6 threatens to win a piece with e5, e4. Well, 6-hour mistakes. Yeah, I mean, back in the old days, we had even longer games. I mean, in the dinosaur era, when I was first playing in tournaments, 40-2, sudden, 40-2, 20-1, and then like another 20, and another like sudden death in one. Let's say, I had games that went on even longer than that, but like club games where we could have adjournments and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's hard, a 6-hour game, but it's not, for the older players like Kramnik, it's probably not something, you know, totally unusual. It gets harder to deal with as you get older, I guess, but Kramnik has definitely been around long enough that he played some older time controls, like 8-hour time control. As I said yesterday, I've heard some people questioning Caruana's like endurance. What's my option here? To play like knight h6? I mean, Fabiano was always like very kind of thin and not very powerful physically, so you wonder if that's a factor. What am I going to do? Where am I going to put my knight? Other than h6, I can play. What am I going to play? There really is no other option. This is very awkward. See, there I thought he should have played h3 maybe. But instead Troll is just trying to play this in a very safe way, you know. Combative plan would have been h3, trying to play g4. Okay, it's kind of weird, though, with the open diagonal here, admittedly. Instead, he just plays safely. Now my knight is looking ridiculous on h6. Well, white's position looks very logical. We both have weird knights. Where's my knight going to go if it gets attacked or something? From f5. Standard sort of hedgehog against, it could have been like a Queen's Indian, or Queen's, what am I saying? It could have been like a Queen's Gambit accepted reversed. It looks like a Nimzo structure, like a classical Nimzo. Some sort of Kramnik opening. This is a typical structure. It's like Kramnik Grishuk with my bishop on e7 instead of g7. Totally standard stuff, but my knight doesn't have where to go. Yeah, now we've got absolute symmetry. It's very funny. Where am I going to go here? Knight to h4. He's got knight h5 now. Where did this guy come from? They find this guy, this troll guy. Actually, I'm asking for trouble if I do that. Should be trying to break in the center, I guess. Is d5 viable? This knight on f5, I can't do anything with it. It's like totally ruining my game. Okay, this was reasonable, I guess. I guess, but maybe not. Yeah, I've got bishop f8 and defending g7 that way. Now I have to do something dramatic. It looks like. Can I play like knight g5? Alright, subtle. Very subtle. Good coordination. G4 looks dangerous for white. Now he lost on time in this complicated position. Black is threatening knight to g5 here, which would be meetable. Is meetable a word? Meetable by bishop e2, I guess. So, knight e1 you can play prophylactically there. It's just a game. Troll lost on time. Okay, another decent game where we had reasonable control of the center. Guys, I'm streaming only till 12 today, so we'll play as many games as we can. Tomorrow's a rest day. Yeah, today's round 6 of the candidates tournament. I'm taking 5+3 blitz challenges casual here, so no other time controls. And an ass. So we got an hour and 45 minutes. I've got to leave promptly due to a lesson. Okay, French defense or some kind of weird stuff with c5. I don't know the French well enough. Hello, is this the candidates? Yeah, I'm playing in the candidates. No, I'm not doing like coverage of the candidates or anything like that. That's in the afternoon. Winnower. What are we gonna do? Okay, I think we had a game already a couple weeks ago in one of these. So I was playing a4 the last couple of times, the so-called Smyslav variation. We had one game with Ananas at least. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Tomorrow there's no stream. My next stream is Sunday. It'll be a simul, 30-30 simul. I think I'm going to try to make it 40, like 40-30 simul, some kind of compromise. Maybe we'll start at 6. So let me just make this announcement now. I'm going to try to start the simul earlier at 6 on Sunday, and maybe we'll try to keep that time. Okay. Simul on Sunday at 6, not 6:30 CET. Queen A5 right away. I guess I can play Queen D2 as well. That's the famous game, the one famous game. But I think this is more usual. I don't know the theory too well here. Sorry, I've noticed your IM, the candidates are for CMs only. I'm broadcasting from Budapest, Hungary. It's raining here. You might hear the rain, the pitter-patter of little raindrops on the roof. We've got very bad rain the last couple of days. Spring is here. So bishop d7, I think this is standard stuff, but I don't know because I never play this. What's up with c4 actually? Wait, did he do something weird here? I mean, is he just giving me c4? Is that normal? I mean, it may not be that bad for black. I just intuitively played c4, but I'm having second thoughts. Maybe this is good for black. Who knows? All right. I just opened up his bishop's ability to go to gg4. gg4. Yeah, maybe I just screwed myself. I don't know. First time in my life for ever playing this position. How about sacking a pawn? Tolto Kaposta, wow. You actually know about that and you're not Hungarian? Stuffed cabbage? Yeah, that's like a very popular dish. It's also very popular in like Transylvania. Hungarians in Romania are really big on tolto, stuffed cabbage, basically. Yeah, it's a huge. Funny to talk about that on the stream. I'm not a big fan of it. It's okay. I mean, I'm not really into cabbage that much. Okay, c3 castles. It smells really bad when they cook that. It's really strong. I can play bishop d3 here. We've got a nice looking bishop pair. I've been here since 2004. Not like constantly, but living here basically for the most part. Man, that sucks. Bishop f5. That totally wasn't on my radar. Man. Now I have like nothing at all. But I mean, I was more concerned about bishop g4, which would be, you know, allowing obviously bishop takes h7 check. I thought maybe he'd try some kind of f6 break. I have no idea. But actually, bishop f5 was probably the best move. But I quit chess for like 5 years. I was hardly playing at all, playing poker. So I'm back since 2015. I really didn't play almost at all between 2010 and 2015. And then since 2015, I started to play again. I got about 50 games last year. Tournament games I'm talking about. So I'm fairly active again. Alright, I thought maybe he should actually play queen d7 and not trade on d3 there. But he could still do that. He could still try like queen d7, queen f5. This looks like a very small advantage for white. Wow, f6. Damn. That makes sense too. F6 is probably a good move. What am I going to do about it? He's got the massive exchange sacrifices on F3. That looks kind of disturbing. He's also slightly ahead in development here. I'm kind of tempted just to sack a pawn in this position, you know? Like, I don't really like my game much. My bishop is really strong. So, I'm not sure this is even really... I don't know, is this really a sacrifice? I didn't really like my position. So I'm just sacking the pawn to liberate my bishop, and maybe, you know, I'll be comfortably equal. I could play bishop b4. I figured I'm totally active here with the open lines and the pawn on d5 being weak, but maybe I was too optimistic. I don't know. My sense of danger was going off. It was like, if you don't do something now, you're going to be worse. Be careful, and you're probably still equal. But objectively, it's like a draw. I don't know if he had better than rook f7. Oh no. He has to smooth queen f5. Oh snap. So I moved the wrong rook, or no. Maybe I moved the wrong rook. Wow, this is a cagey move. That's a bit of a problem. I don't really want to trade queens. Alright, good move. I didn't see that at an S. Now I'm just a pawn down. Damn, queen f5. I think I was probably fine, but I had to find a better move there. Man. So if we just remain calm here. Just remain calm. Fine, fine. His pawn structure is not that secure. I wouldn't want to have this position against a GM or something. And he's playing this pretty well. Too optimistic to give up the pawn, I guess. But I thought I was going to be worse in that position. What is this? He has like rook e1. I was concerned about rook e1 there. NS, I don't know what's up with your rating, dude. You're like 1846. He's like 20, almost 2100 FIDE, or he's around 2100 FIDE. All right. I mean, I'm lucky to draw here. I was worse, just down a pawn, with like incremental compensation. I mean, I don't know what happened. I shouldn't have given the pawn up, I guess, but I didn't really like my position. I think that c4 may not be that good at the end of the day. It's only been played in like 4 games. Stockfish likes it. It seems logical to open the position for the bishops, but damn, there's only 4 games here. Like me, Stockfish thinks it's the best move. I expected bg4. He just plays very logically, castling. There's one game. Just one game in this position. Played like perfectly. Yeah, but this move freaked me out. I didn't know what to do here. Damn, the computer played my line. The computer exactly played my line, except it takes with the pawn on e5. I couldn't find anything better. I didn't like taking on f6. That's crazy. So apparently this was inaccurate, this bishop b4. But it's only equal at best. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching and subscribing. So I was okay. It was okay till I did this, basically missing queen f5. I looked at this line and I dismissed it because I thought that it was like not that clear. But apparently I can go here. I've got the bishop blockading d2 and his pawn is sort of hard to keep defended, I guess. I'm threatening g4. But it looked kind of creepy to me, so I didn't go for that. Alright guys, let's play some more games. I'm going to take all the challenges I can get till 12 o'clock. We've got an hour and a half. I'm strong for an 1800. He's a sandbagger, definitely. I don't know. We've got a lot of players like that who are regulars here on my stream. Another guy who's like 1600, whose British or English rating is like almost 2000. The equivalent of... I guess they play a lot of, you know, arena tournaments where they're berserking or something. You can trash your rating pretty quickly like that. I mean, berserking tournaments here in arenas can cost you like 300 rating points. Let's see. Tushar is playing all sorts of stuff. He just seems to change his openings every day. Solid Queen's Gambit today. You always lose on time. The issue is that bots on lichess bring ratings down. Oh man, it's like poker. You mean bots like people cheating? Bots? I don't think it's not that big of an issue. I mean, cheating is an issue, but I don't think it's to the point where it... Maybe I'm wrong, but I wouldn't think it would get to the point where it's actually affecting the ratings. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that big a deal, but it's possible. I mean, to some degree. But it's not that rampant on lichess. I don't know. I think that just some people don't care about their ratings as much as others. It's an online rating. It doesn't really mean anything, I guess. Okay, Black has played c6 here too early, right? So I should, you know, there's some schools have thought that say you should play queen c2 in this position. I'm not actually that thrilled about it. If you play queen c2, you're gonna have to castle queenside, probably. So I'm supposed to just play bishop d3. You can't stop playing because of that. I agree, man. Just have to live with it. We're all gonna be bots in the future. Artificial intelligence and whatnot. We have to learn to adapt. Alright. So what's up? h6, yes, okay. We could play bishop f4. Not really great, but it's a move. Okay, we've had this position with castles quite a few times. He could play b5 first. I wonder if there's any benefit in delaying castling here for white. Queen e2, let's say, instead of castles. I wonder if that would make a difference in some way. I'm not really sure. I always thought this line was just kind of some kind of substandard variation for black, but I see it quite frequently. It doesn't seem that bad. It's, you know, it's like all Queen's Gambits declined. It seems a little bit passive, but at the same time, it's hard to get an advantage with white. Okay, now knight to d5. If we play like, you know, Alekhine versus Capablanca style, the idea is that we want to avoid exchanges of pieces, and I think we'll adhere to that now. It's also possible to play bishop takes e7 and have a small infinitesimal advantage, maybe. I think I might have had a game like this in a tournament 20 years ago against some expert. What we call an expert in US chess ratings is a player between 2000 and 2200. Under 2200, but over 2000. I think I had a game against a guy where the guy drew me, and I was kind of like, what did I do? How did I not get an advantage here? Knight f6. He's leaving the e5 square wide open, but he's stopping e4. Okay, I don't want him to just own this. And obviously I'd like to play e4. My bishop's not doing anything special on c4 anyway at this point, so it's liable to get attacked by something. The Gladys troll, and yes, the troll on a roll. What do you mean? I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to tell anything. They have multiple personality disorder. Rook c1 looks natural. Perhaps. Perhaps not a bad move. What do we do here? Sort of bayonet attack. I mean, I'm not sure, you know, objectively this is bad for black at all. White's playing for kind of minimalist advantage. I do have a6 though. But now at this point he's got bishop e4. So I'm not convinced by that. Actually, he's threatening knight e4, possibly. Yeah, just a practical setup. Black is fine here. Oh well, back to the drawing board. I think knight e5 is okay. I hope knight e5 is okay. Knight e4, a6. Knight e4, a6 looks interesting. Trying to cut off the defense of the knight on e4. Now this is just a more solid move. I just don't have an advantage here. Looks like he's fully equal. If only I could do something with that pawn on b6. But I've got to watch. His bishop is so dangerous on the long diagonal. The way I've played this. I mean, this thing is just a killer. It's just constantly in my face. That is no joke. So I'm going back here. I just don't see a good way to counter that long diagonal. I mean, you could certainly trade knights and play something lame like f3. If I can play for e4, maybe I can play e4. It's nothing special here, though. I was also looking at his b6 pawn. Surveillance. But Tushar is a very strong practical player. He doesn't seem to really care about the opening that much, though he plays the black side of the Lopez pretty well, I will say. Looks like a position that white can't lose. Believe me, I can lose. Now this move I think is controversial. Bishop takes f3. It's like trading his strongest piece to create like slight weakening in my pawn structure, but that may be a rather large mistake. My teammate, veteran international master Petran Paul Petran, was the first person I saw, who just like didn't care about bishop takes f3 and like a queen's gambit queen's gambit declined. And this is a really good example of a position where like bishop takes f3 probably isn't very good for black. He no longer has any real dynamic chances, and in the endgame my bishops are pretty good. I think that white is slightly better. He can lose his b6 pawn and then get tortured in a 5 versus 4 ending. So now at this point, bishop e5. Bishop e5 is obviously an idea, but I think maybe development is more important. Opposite colored bishops are all about the initiative, not so much attacking, and the initiative, not so much material. I mean, material's even anyway. White's a little bit better here. I have a very compact pawn structure. My king is safe, and objectively it's probably a draw, but white has some chance. I definitely wouldn't accept a draw against a much lower rated player in a tournament game here. Probably against a GM. I would think about it, but accept a draw. Although, it is a little better for white. Is he looking for rook queen a3 concretely here? He also has the maneuver bishop d8. Not really sure where to put my pieces exactly. He's got e5 as well after that. Nope. We can stop e5 at least. I want to put my king on g2. Make sure everything's protected. The problem with queen a3, it would attack the bishop and the rook on c1, and I can't take on b6. Now here he can try like h5. This stops h5 temporarily. I don't know if he wants to do that. It's probably not a bad move to play h5 ever here. Objectively, it's like a draw. Did I miss anything with rook down? We're gonna win a pawn. We can just take, or I can play bishop g2. Doesn't really matter. Keeping the blockade. Now rook takes b6, rook check, bishop f1. Or should I just take with the bishop on d5? But I don't know, I feel like I should have taken his b pawn first. Yeah, he just sort of panicked. I mean, it should be a draw. Even here, This is not so easy, but if you don't play queen d5, white's only slightly better in this position. I thought like h5, h4 would have been good last move. Right around here to play h5. I don't know. Okay. Nothing special for me there. Wubba double lub lub. Thanks for the subscriptions, guys. Morales, what's up? Please analyze. A instead of AB. A6 instead of AB. A6. Yeah, I looked at A6 briefly, but not in that position. For some reason, I didn't really consider it. It seemed like black had too much play on the long diagonal. I don't know, but yeah, I mean A6 maybe. Okay, that's not really analyzing it. I could go back and look at it, but I want to play more games today because I'm short of time. We have to stop at 12 o'clock, basically. Usually I stream till 12:30, but I've got to leave promptly this week. So what would double love playing here, this bishop c4, without black having even committed a central pawn? Generally speaking, it's not considered quite correct. I'm not sure the bishop belongs on c4 in this type of setup where black plays it like a Paulson or whatever. I think that bishop c4 is particularly good against d6, but only against d6. That would be my particular exact feeling about this. Against e6 and knight c6, it's not so good. Against d6, it's fine. Playing d5 would cost black a move, basically. It's still playable, but I don't really trust this for white. It doesn't look right. Now, how does he deal with this, losing a move? On the other hand, it's probably not that bad. It's similar to like a Sozin Sicilian, but black has a more black has more options, let's say. Our moderator must be sleeping. It's like what? 5 hours difference. It's a 5 a.m. in the USA. Yeah, I like bishop b3. That seems logical here. Now, can we do anything really aggressive? Not especially. I could take on... No, I can't even do that. You know, if I were to play d6, this position would actually transpose straight up to like a Sozin, which wouldn't be bad for white. But I'm thinking, is there a better way to play? Maybe. Maybe, like, you can play Paulson style. Let's say castles, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop c5, and then d6. But I'm not even convinced by that, actually. Although it's not that bad for white, I still just don't quite recommend playing bishop c4 unless black has played d6. Interesting maneuver. Headed over here. Fairly standard idea. I mean, we can play bishop c5, then he goes back. This is not better for black, I would say. It's about equal, roughly, this position. His bishop on b3 is, of course, like fairly ineffective here because of the e6. That's the whole argument in the first place. When you play bishop c4 early, if black has a setup, you know, that can kind of shut that bishop down. There I thought, okay, he's thinking about some queen g5, but queen d3 is far more natural at that point. He's actually blocking his bishop. Okay, maybe he wants to play queen f4, something weird like that. I'm not in a rush to castle. We get both bishops to the long diagonals here, which are good. It's like a Scotch maneuver. But I have b4. b4 queen takes g7 though. Something of a problem. Is this a problem? Bishop b4 looks like a waste of time. I have queen b6. Wubba double lub lub. 1173. Oh, he's also in Hungary? I don't think I knew he was in Hungary. That's weird. I've played this guy before, but I don't think he had his nationality out there. Man, this is kind of weird. I guess I just have to play castles, but I'm a little worried about it. It's like castles e5, and maybe white's better there. Okay, there's got to be a different way to play. Queen g5, it's an extremely annoying move. Damn. This is totally hard to deal with. Why is this so difficult to find a move for black here? I mean, it seems like white has wasted time with queen d2, queen g5, and I should have a good position. Damn. Don't know. b4, queen takes g7, castles e5, knight e8. I mean, I guess it's not that bad for me. I just have to do it. I mean, the good thing is that his bishop is still dead. But this doesn't seem really right for me. Okay, the point is that e5, h6 would be good for me, but he can defend the pawn by either queen g3 or queen. Maybe that's the trick. Okay, queen g3, knight h5 I have. But then anyway, queen g3, knight h5. Yeah, queen g3, knight h5 is strong. h6, queen f4 then. But queen f4, knight h5, queen e3. We can actually... queen e4, excuse me, and then bishop g2. Didn't even do it. Okay. That was like the critical line. h6, queen h4 looks good for white. Alright. Well, there's no f3. He could play rook e1, just playing with the pieces, or obviously e5, knight e4, takes. This isn't so bad for white. $1,100 in blitz. Wow. Pretty good, man. Queen g5 turned out to be really strong. Yeah, I like bishop b7 best. Sheppy talks about, what's up Sheppy? He talks about bishop d4. Hadn't occurred to me because it is, you know, moving the same piece again, but that might be an idea. Now I'm hoping that I'm, you know, at least equal. We do have f6 coming. He can't play f3. The bishop on g6 can, if he chooses to take, can be a good defender with bishop g6. But I was kind of surprised by how many resources white really has there. It looks like queen d2, queen g5 should be burning all sorts of time and wrong, but I couldn't find anything. Queen g4 I guess I looked at here. We've got pressure on the C line, but that's hard to actually do anything with. Can't take the pawn. And meanwhile, our pawn is weak. This is a strong move. If I play d6 here, just an idea. I mean, that pawn gives him a huge spatial advantage, and that's the whole basis of his kind of advantage here. Now his bishop is actually better, so I think that white is equal. Fully equal. Bishop f4. That move looks a little bit suspect. Now his structure, he should probably trade. I thought he should trade queens. He's gonna want to try to. He's gonna play queen e5 or something. He did not. Pretty strong for an 1100. It's been so long since I played him before. I don't really recall how he played. Man, good game until the last couple of moves. I don't like the fact that he let me smash his pawns up. But overall, I mean, based on your rating, that was an excellent game by white. This has actually been played by some decent players. Matakosian. I mean, I don't know. He's playing that against a GM. That seems kind of weird. Queen d3 is not bad. This maneuver here with queen d2, I mean, obviously queen d3 is normal. I mean, having played queen d3 the first time, I was surprised by this. Here I just failed to find anything special. Apparently I missed something here, h6. So I've been talking about this the move before, and it's still good. Queen g3, knight h5 wins a pawn. I just missed it. Queen h3 and queen takes e5. Man, okay. Be a little more alert. Rooks 5+3. What's up, guys? I should have seen that. I mean, I was thinking about these ideas, but I got down to like a minute and I start to kind of worry about the falling behind on the clock. And let's play something different. I usually play Sicilian, but I do mix it up. Guys, I'm gonna be streaming for another hour, so we'll play as many people as we can. Like Fabiano, I play the Petrov a lot, but it's not very dynamic. I never imagined winning a game with black in the Queen e2 Petrov. Let alone against Kramnik. That is just comedic, man. You tell your grandchildren you beat Kramnik on the black side of the Petrov when he played Queen e2. What are the chances of that? I'm just going to play d6 here. Since he's playing a kind of quiet setup, I don't have to play b5 necessarily. He could play like a delayed exchange variation and turn it into a Steinitz type of structure. But he's losing a tempo. And then again, I've played a6, which is a waste of time. So here, I guess the safest move is to do like bishop d7. And certainly I could, well, maybe not right away. Maybe after bishop d7, I could play g6 and try to do a kingside fianchetto. That's probably like most standard. Now bishop takes c6 and d4, even a tempo down. I guess there I could try to grab the pawn on e4. Well, what's up with that? The Petrov, the most principled opening against e4, very possible. You know, it's Karpov's, one of Karpov's choices. Another plan he has here is like he could maybe try to do like a c4 type of structure. I don't know about bishop d2. That's pretty weird. Is he going to do like bishop takes c6 and bishop a5? I've never seen that before. It's like a Richter Rouser idea with like bishop takes f6, bishop h5 on the king side. You could do bishop takes c6 and bishop a5, freezing my queen side. So this is just a weird move. You know, the knight typically goes there. I mean, at this point, I might as well just play like b5, I guess. I tried to avoid making weaknesses, but, you know, his setup, no, it's just not that aggressive with the bishop on d2. What other options do I have? Maybe bishop g4 here. Actually, maybe bishop g4 makes some sense after bishop d2, because he's got no knight d2, knight f1 type of stuff. Normally I recommend against doing this, but in this particular position, because of bishop d2, maybe it's worth doing. The other thing is I haven't weakened my queen side with b5. I have a lot less weaknesses that white square bishop could babysit on the queen side. You know, therefore, I think in these Rubinstein lines or whatever they're called, Rubinstein variation, it may be called the Rubinstein variation, where you don't do b5 and if I remember correctly. There's like every variation is called the Rubinstein, but he's got like 10 openings named after him. We're kind of strong pointing e5 here, I think. This might lose a pawn, right? Takes, takes, takes. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look correct. I guess he can do g4. Bishop g6, e5, or something weird. But white has basically lost the pawn here, not supporting the e4. Rustam Kastimjanov, some psychological trap for white that's hard to explain. What's that? Against Kramnik, I would play e4, e5, f4. Okay, you got to know though that his openings are extremely well prepared. The dude must have something massively solid against the King's Gambit. Has he ever faced the King's Gambit? Is there a reason why you say this, or the fact that he hasn't faced it? Like, I don't recall. I don't recall seeing a game where Kramnik faced the King's Gambit, but that's probably in fact unlikely. I mean, most likely he has. But I can't remember having seen him play against the King's Gambit. I'm just choosing to take on d2, you know, for the sake of not wasting time here. But in reality, like, his knights are a pretty good combination. It's better to have the two knights against two bishops in most cases than bishop and knight. And I might even have problems with my structure. The c6 pawn looks kind of weak. And I actually developed a piece for him by playing knight takes d2. You know, maybe I'm an idiot. Could I have played bishop takes f3 here? Well, no, then he's on this pawn. But actually, for example, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight takes d2, knight takes d2, queen d7. Yeah, there he's got rook c1, so his development is getting too fast. It's not that easy. White had a little bit of compensation. Queen d7, I'm just like, I should just forget about it, you know, forget about this pawn once and for all. bg5. g4, bishop takes d2. Likely I'm going to lose the pawn back. I mean, I could play c5. I think that's actually playable. I'm not worse, but then it's like I'm effectively not a pawn up anymore. Now I've got rook b6, but it's only like a temporary stopgap. Here he even has knight e5. That's probably not a good move, though. I mean, rook b6 is like an awkward move to have to play to defend c6. Not really what you want to be doing in general, but I'd rather not lose my pawn back. No tactics here, it's just strictly positional play. But I feel like I made the wrong decision when I took on d2. I mean, what was my other option, you know? Maybe just play like d5 or something crazy. Bishop takes f3. What am I supposed to play in this position? Knight back? I don't know, you know, it's not that easy. Kramnik hasn't faced the King's Gambit in an official game. That's what people think. It'd be easy enough to look up. It's entirely possible. There was someone else who hadn't faced it recently, I thought, that we were surprised by. See, this knight move I don't know about. You know, it seems like you might want to have like knight c4. Okay, it's strong. Admittedly, it's strong there, but it can be gotten rid of. Eliminated. It can be eliminated. That's the point, right? Two knights against two bishops. Just a very good thing to keep in mind that, like I said earlier, the knights coordinate really well together. You'd much rather have this situation than like the bishop and knight in most cases. Unless you can trade off that bishop. If you can eliminate the bishop pair by trading off, say, a bishop and knight against two bishops. If you can trade off my white square bishop with your white square bishop here, and then just play where everything's on the white against my dark squared bishop, that's fine. But what you don't want is to have to face the two bishops with an uncoordinated bishop and knight. This looks like a positional mistake. White is just committed strategic harikiri. Harikiri. It's still not any way for me to win the pawn directly. Ironically, if we go here, this rook b4. Pressurizing several pawns simultaneously. So the point was he takes back with the knight if I take on e1, which might not be that bad. Well, I could have traded on e1 probably. It's hard to see where it's going to go. Defending. This is logical. Now he's got rook e3, which is really strong. Rook takes, queen takes, bishop takes d4. Bishop takes, rook takes, and then rook e3, doubling on the file with counterplay. It's a really crafty move to come up with. Now maybe c5 at some moment, huh? But he's just getting out of it with that rook thing on the back rank, man. He's gonna back rank me with rook e8. There's nothing I can do about it. It's really annoying. And he's on my rook. Look at this. Multiple ideas. Super active. I must guard my back rank, and my rook was hanging. Brilliant. If I should play h5 around here instead of h6. Because h5, h4 look kind of irritating. Losing on time, but I mean, this is not that easy. Pretty good game, man. Was h5 a good move? Apparently h6. I mean, I didn't like h6, h4, but maybe it's nothing. I can go queen g4 or something. Yeah, you have h5 there. c5. Huh. Okay, guys, good game. Plucro challenged me to chess 960. I said I wasn't gonna play more chess 960, but we'll do it for Plucro. Last 960 game today. 5 plus 3. Guys, I've got the better part of an hour to take as many challenges as I can. What's up, Arsenal fan? Take care, Morales. Sorry, didn't get to play the last couple days. B3. I was sorry Morales didn't send any game last night. On Thursday night, we have our subscriber stream. I was sorry that Antonio didn't submit a game. The Trompowski. If he takes, do I take back with the G pawn or the E pawn? Probably the E pawn is a little more stable here. But I'm concerned about my bishop. I don't know if this is really good for me. It would be more dynamic to take back toward the center, but I'm concerned about things strategically here. Occupy. I felt like the last games in the last weeks where I've been playing against I'm playing 960. I'm not paying enough attention to just controlling the center. Maybe this is going too far, though. Maybe I'm overextending. But if you think about it logically, you know, if we don't have any opening theory, all we have are principles. So c5. You know, he can play like Blumenfeld, Benko style with b4. I don't know if it's really correct, but it certainly looks interesting. I guess I would take on e3, then take on b4. Then I lose the center. Blue Crow is an interesting player. He plays pretty dynamically and creatively. Queen e2 in the King's Gambit. Mule Skinner. Hey, what's up? What's a tier 1 sub? Well, I don't know which is tier 1. I guess tier 1 is like the lowest buy-in, and tier 3 is the highest buy-in. You're a high roller if you're tier 3, and you're a low stakes player if you're tier 1. As far as I know. What am I supposed to do here? E5, F4, is he gonna like undermine my center? I've got to look at ways to be prepared to sacrifice a pawn, probably. Also, knight c6, bishop takes c6. Oh man, alright. I mean, that's a good pawn sack, if there's ever been one. I dare you to take my knight on c6. I could be playing for mate in 1, you know. Damn, dude, that is a serious threat. I mean, that might just, like, win by force, almost. So, bishop takes c6, b takes c6. And good luck to you, he who have not the white-scarred bishop in this position. Sorry, I was talking about reverse colors King's Gambit. What's the name of that? The Latvian. You mean the Latvian? Latvian Gambit. Knight f3, f5. The reverse King's Gambit, in a sense. I like the black side of the King's Gambit, just playing d5. You know, the Falkbeer with the delayed capture on f4. Okay, that's kind of a trendy line at the moment, too. Now e5, Well, I can wait. I can wait as long as you can wait. I could castle, or I can play e5. Or I can play for mate with queen g4, but that's kind of optimistic. Classic Osh. Control the center. That's my new focus in Chess 960. It's all you got. Why are you not playing music in the background on your stream? Troll, you asked this after watching my stream for like a year? Most people are like, don't play music on your stream. Then you get like 1 in 5 who are like, oh man, why don't you play music in your stream? The problem, it's like politics, man. Nobody can agree on like what they like, you know? If you start playing music, then you make like, you always make 75% of the people watching unhappy. Because it's like a guarantee that whatever kind of music you play, like 60 to 70% of the viewers aren't going to like it, you know? 30 or 40% will be really, really happy about it. Oh man, you had to have this move, this annoying queen a3. It looks really artificial though, doesn't it? Uber artificial. We don't have too much time to think. I mean, I could also play for mate, but he's got queen g2 there. Now, unfortunately, unlike normal chess, my queen is on c8, not d8, so a5 is hanging. I wanted to play knight b4. There are other little problems, like the fact that he's got queen a4 check as well. But I have b6. Maybe b6 makes some sense. Does anybody have any other great ideas here? I'm just playing on intuition now. It feels so good. If f4, knight g4, we start having some fun over there. Now, obviously here, which is, we can always meet a check with knight d7, and we're ready to castle now. He has some things to worry about in his camp, which he didn't really give 2 cents about. But we're just strategically, like, clearly better now. Even knight d7 is strong. It's reminding me of yesterday's Benoni between the heavyweights, a little bit. Of course, Grishuk didn't have a queen on a6. Yeah, the knight on e4, it's relatively strong. I'm selling out here with this move a bit. But strategically, white is just worse. I've got a protected passed pawn on d4. This is, I think, debatable. You know, maybe you should even trade your bishop off. Now we're out of here. Bishop is funny, but it's got a chance to come out. Believe me, it will live. This will live. Does he have f4 for reals? I can play f5. I don't know about that actually. I have faith in my position here. G6 looks sort of logical. It would be about time to start calculating tactics. Do I win the exchange here? It's actually a really close position where winning the exchange might not be that good for me. So I may have made a very big mistake, in a sense. Which way? The lesser of the evils, I guess. I gotta play this one. He's gonna end up getting like a pawn or two. I have queen c5 actually. Maybe that's the good move. The good move. Queen c5. Or even d3 right away. No. Queen c5, rook d3. Then knight b4. Is that a better way to win the exchange? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Damn it. He missed knight c1. That was an extremely good move. He's got to play knight c1 there. That is such a good idea. And I hope this is okay for me. I think it is. But he missed knight c1, defending a2 and defending with a knight popping into d3. That's probably not bad for white. We've got to watch out for that f5, of course. But although, I mean, this changes the whole game. I mean, now it's like, that's there forever, so we're good here. It's still not that easy to break through, though. Need to be patient at this point, I think. Make sure our bad bishop gets in the game. Right. Crow put up a good fight. Take a look at the what? The what game? The Scandinavian game. Well, we're just playing Blitz, Fast Blitz today, Arsenal fan. I'm not doing game analysis. If you want me to take a look at the game, I'll take a look at the game on my own time, and send you, you know, some comments about it. But I don't want to. We don't have much time. I have to leave at 12 o'clock today, so I want to play Blitz with all the viewers. I'm not going to do that analysis now, but if you want to, you know, I'll send you a message about it. Okay, good to go. He's really defending well. Maybe queen f6 now. Trying to find that blockading square. Darn it. Still has defense. Too many rooks. Too many rooks. That's not going to cut it. Alright, man. Good try. No, I didn't look at the Portuguese game. Sorry, Rich. I'll send you a message about that. Alright. Happy India. Only stupid names left. Mule Skinner. We've got to leave early, guys, at the 12 o'clock today. Happy India 1668. Everyone's playing e4 against me today. They're actually pretty good analysis on the King's Gambit game. Wait, which King's Gambit game? Which game were you guys talking about? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Arsenal fan. I'll send you some notes about that. But e4, again, we're running out of defenses to e4. Let's try g6. What do we got here? Only stupid names left. Mule Skinner. How was your chess club yesterday? I mean, drinking club. Arsenal fan. Okay, Nakamura versus Andrekin. fighting game in Chess 960, but it was pretty rope-a-dope. You were playing a pretty risky-looking Benoni there, or whatever you want to call it. I tried to play as principally as possible. Happy India. From India, surprisingly. Okay, I'm not an expert on the modern defense. I think that d6 is probably a good move here, though. If you take on d4, you just end up with a... Oh, you know what's funny? I played this against an Indian player. This was my game with Raut Padmini. You know, knight f6, it's a bluff. The bluff knight f6, which is no good because of e5, knight e4, and bishop d3, queen a5, check, king f1, or something like that. I used that in 2 games, not realizing that it's not good. Neither player exploited it. Happy India, are you a multiple? You're not like another account of a person who knows me, are you? Alright, now this is like Alexander Ivanov territory. Bishop g4, d takes c5. There's like a famous Smyslov game or something. It's okay for me. I mean, I played the black side of the Marazzi anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the modern defense player has to think of a way to continue there without allowing that, or that endgame. I think bishop g4, d takes c5. It seems to me is a famous Smyslov endgame, which is not so good for black. But I need to know what I'm doing. Why are women's tracksuit bottoms so much more comfortable? That's a very strange question. Chinese Economy said he's been playing a lot of King's Gambit on lichess today. Maybe it was a... he didn't know he was in like a thematic tournament. Anyways, it's just the standard stuff here. The Marazzi, which is not much fun for black, but I play it anyway. It's very solid. I don't know, Happy India seems pretty professional for a 1600. I have to be careful. It'll be like a rated game if I'm not paying attention. I'm surprised one didn't slip through the cracks already. That's the worst, when I'm like spending all my time talking about the game and I have like a 2-minute time disadvantage. And I'm like, oh my god, the 1300 is playing perfectly and it's a rated game. This way I can relax and just enjoy the chess and not stress about like losing rating points or something. But Happy India seems to be... Okay, another player who's like 1600 in blitz, but 1700 in bullet. Excuse me? And then like 1900 in rapid. Okay, it's a relatively new account. It doesn't have many games. I mean, you could play that many games in a week, actually. So it might be much stronger than its rating, but I don't see this being 1668. We're 14 moves into the... Yuta Akita, this IM from Australia, played this move against me. I think it looks like a classic mistake. I almost beat him, too, with the black pieces in this position. Ikeda. It's like a Japanese name, guy from Australia. But he played queen d4 check, and then, how did that work? Somehow I almost beat him in the ending. He was trying to play like risk-free or something, but I've played this a lot with in my career. King h1. Now I've got a4. Maybe we have something here with a4. Man, I really wish, like, you know, I hope that all 1600s don't play this well. Okay, if you know it, you know it. I mean, anybody can learn like the first 15 moves of the Marazzi, but generally speaking, bishop takes g7 isn't supposed to be good, because it's like your good bishop. You've got all these pawns in the white squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. f6, and you're remaining with a bad bishop, not with a good bishop. You're supposed to keep the dark squared bishop on the board with bishop back to e3 or bishop back to f2. My friend Joey likes to play bishop f2 in these type of positions. It has some special benefits. Oh no, now he has b4. That's pretty subtle. I gotta be careful my bishop doesn't get trapped here. Very likely a4 was a mistake then. If he has b4 now, he should probably play it. I mean, this changes everything. Now white might be better after b4, starting to get control in the dark squares, just what I was talking about. Knight d5. I mean, knight d5 may not be bad, but I think that the b4 is better. Now, after b4, I don't know what I would have done. My bishop is threatening to get trapped on c6 by b5. But I guess I have time to save it, probably. Although this position looks really hard for black to win. Kind of typical. Very difficult to make progress. a3 is interesting, though. If we're going to play for a win, I guess we play a3, we lock that pawn on a2, and hope something good happens later on. I don't know. I could end up losing the pawn, and like regretting that I did this, but from a practical standpoint, it seems like the best plan. Pretty strong 1600 though. Against the computer, I would consider myself slightly worse here, probably. Not really sure what to do now. This is... What is this, like a glorified repetition of moves? I mean, we're not in any danger, but it's very hard for black to make progress. d4, g5, the grob. If I get control of the c file, then I really have something. Oh, he's going to trade queens, or try to trade queens with bishop b5, it looks like. At least we got a head start on the c file. I didn't like rook d1. White should play rook f1 in that position directly. Queen h4. Queen b4, rook c2 there. Queen and knight combination is better than queen and bishop. We got some dark square chances and back rank threats. The ending, however, I'm not that sure about. In this particular situation, I think I shouldn't trade. I should not trade. Didn't see any forced win there. I just want to grip the dark squares really strongly here. Okay, I think at this point I could even trade queens. Maybe not. No real sense in doing that. It reminds me of like a Magnus Karyakin game or something I saw. Strongest player is for 1600. Really, really tough. But now I think I'm winning. Damn, dude, how strong is this guy? I would say he played the entire game like at least 2000 strength. Just a little too late now to stop the pawn. That was a long game, dude. 53 moves. And still there's a trick here. An increment player. Make sure we play it out to mate. Alright. There are other people waiting to play, so it seems sort of silly to play it out to the mate, dude. But whatever. He doesn't go for the stalemate there? Are you serious? Not really cool to play it out. Alright, we've got like 5 people waiting to play. 5 plus 3, let's go on. Knight f3. Anyway, it was a really epic game. A good 15 minutes for that 5 plus 3 game. Alright. I think a lot of people who don't play increment, you know, they're always thinking I can win on time, but that's never going to happen when I have a 3-second increment. Only stupid names left, 1400. No, it's good to have this Friday where we play just everyone, not just the subscribers. I think that this was a good idea to implement this. I don't really like this opening for black. The so-called Marshall defense. Although, like other crazy things, Mamajarov has played it on a few occasions. Yeah, I've got to go strictly at 12 o'clock, guys. Once he plays the e6, though, it turns into something like a Queen's Gambit accepted. Like a passive Queen's Gambit accepted. That's actually not a bad move under the circumstances. I don't like knight c6, but e6 itself is probably not a bad move at all. Come to think of it, it might be one of black's best moves. Alright, so we'll try to get at least 3 more games, but I don't know if I can promise it. I've got to go at 12, guys. I may not get to play you Arsenal fans. Sorry, dude. And Mule Skinner challenged me to the wrong time control. Mule Skinner, you need to challenge me to 5 plus 3. This is a Fast Friday. That's our new theme here. So I'm not taking subscribers first, and I'm only playing 5 plus 3. I like how the subscribers are getting nervous. Sorry, guys, but it's just a general stream today. So, Rich, I can't take you ahead of the other players. That's the idea of today's stream, to give everybody a chance to play, not only the subscribers. And I've got to leave early because I have a lesson. So please be patient. If you can't play today, don't be salty about it. Castles, I promised one of my students that I could meet him. It's due to the time change in the United States. We've got everything like shifted up an hour this week. So, very good position for white. I'm like pre-moving rook d1. Pretty much everything he could do there would have been, rook d1 would have been valid. Now I don't know what to do. There's no particularly great square for our pieces here. Bishop f4. It's like an awfully routine move. I don't really have a better suggestion though. Thinking about d5. Don't I have it? I'm not sure if bishop f4 was best or not. Now there's the e5 pawn sack idea, which is certainly very interesting. I guess I'll stick to my guns here. Bishop f6. Jesus, that's a strong move. What am I going to do? Sacrifice in exchange? Maybe knight e5, which looks really dangerous. Rook e8 becomes a very big threat here. That's awkward for me. I mean, how am I going to keep everything protected? 1400. H6 now. Getting my rook off the file. the diagonal, whatever that is. Only stupid names left. He's only 1400, but he's playing really cagey chess here. Once I get c4, I think I have a really solid game. I think you should play c4 yourself to prevent me from solidly blockading here. I think I'm going to have time for one more game. Quam is next. I've got to go promptly at 12 o'clock, guys. Alright, c4. Unless the next game is super fast. No, actually, Mule Skinner was next. What am I talking about? Sorry, Mule Skinner. Mule Skinner is next. Regardless of the fact that he's a subscriber. Sack the Exchange. I looked at sacking the Exchange long ago. You know, I was thinking about it. You probably could. But now White just has a Utopia, you know, position. We've got the protected pass pawn on there. We didn't have to sack an Exchange. This is an extremely solid advantage for White. It's still not that easy. He can probably guess this is best move. You know, that's an extremely strong move for a 1400 rated player to find. Although I guess he simply doesn't have that many options. Only Stupid Names Left, you know, has played pretty well against me. To find this maneuver like knight b7, knight d6, that's pretty subtle. Shows excellent positional understanding, and this is the only way for black to continue, really. Try to blockade. Maybe I have some crazy d6 now, you know, which could be quite strong. But that takes quite a bit of calculation. It also commits my pawn forever to going to d6. So I don't know. It might be risky to play d6. There's no going back once you make a pawn move. Knight b7. Trading the white square bishops probably wouldn't be bad for me. But in general, I don't want to trade pieces here. Thus, rook e1, right? Traded rooks. Not easy to make progress, but now I have knight e5 when the knight's extremely forward and threatening knight c6 and stuff like bishop h7 check. So he'll have to give up like his dark squared bishop. We'll have two bishops, control the open file. It's still not that easy to make progress. It seems like black has a good blockade of d6. Do you think d6 is terrible on the previous move? Because I was seriously considering, I almost played this. I'm not sure. It looks very interesting tactically. Arsenal fan, why are you making all these comments, dude? You're getting kind of rude, I think. I really try my best to do everything I can, and it feels like you're being kind of insolent. I don't understand why. But I really have to live, you know, so I can't ignore my students and just stay here all day. It kind of hurts my feelings that you're joking about it, because I really, you know, try my best to really do everything I can for the stream. And you're hurting my feelings, dude. Seriously. Bishop g3. I'm just kind of getting distracted. I'm going to be back on Sunday. I'm going to make the simul a half an hour early we're probably going to do it from that 6 o'clock time slot instead of 6:30 from now on, in order to make the simul's actually a little bit longer. So only stupid names left. Defending this well. Rook here. Very solid play, you know. I can't imagine anybody who's this solid being 1400. How can you be this solid and be 1400? It's impossible, dude. You'd have to lose on time every game like Troll in a Roll or something. The dude, it's called, there's the word Durva in Hungarian, which means like really, really solid, really tough. He's playing this like, you can't be 1400 and be this solid. It's Durva. I guess Durva can also be like negative, like it's that was really harsh when you lost. I'm not an expert in Hungarian language, just a random idea I just shared with you. So he lost on time. I mean, he's still hanging on. He's still hanging on with f6, bishop f4. I can't claim this as a winning position, but it's a bit passive for black with the two bishops. Okay, next game, Quam. No, I said Mule Skinner. Mule Skinner. Hungarian time, 6 p.m. Yeah, Nefedov, I was worried about you because you in particular are one of those players who like probably, you know, is working, and maybe, you know, it's going to be tough for you. But my interest is to make the simul better, because I can make it a little bit longer time control and not get into the crazy time pressure. So like 40-30 instead of 30-30, I think we'll do. Just a little bit longer. And once my team games end on Sundays, I'm gonna try to switch back to like 40-40 time control for every Sunday simul. The last couple weeks I did 30-30, and it just gets this really bad time pressure. So the 40-30 should be a little bit better. I saw like Lance 5500 doing really strange time control, like 5+5, but with 90 minutes extra for him. You know, that's another approach. Like that might actually not. I never thought about it, but that might actually be kind of interesting. I don't know. It seems strange to me though. Even I don't flood in a chat like Arsenal supporters. I still keep my ears open. Oh, that's a dig on Arsenal. The start time is not the same. I'm changing it to 6 p.m. I'm changing it to 6 p.m. instead of 6:30. You know, Central European time, CET. Actually, we have time change coming up, so that'll be in not this weekend, but next weekend. That's another complication, but it's still Central European time right now. This is what is this? The Queen's Gambit accepted, Steinitz variation. There seems to be some tension between the English players in the chat. Lots of joking going on. I was getting kind of sensitive. It's hard to tell when people are joking. It's hard to tell when people are joking in real life, let alone like online. Castles. And yeah. We've definitely played this before. I don't remember if it was against Mule Skinner particularly. I think I played Queen D3 before. And I don't know if it's the best move here. It's a standard idea. But after B5, Bishop A2, he has B4. He also has like E5. Nobody even looked at your link. Well, I would if I had time, but I'm like playing a game where I have like 2 minutes left and stuff like that, so. Now what? My setup looks kind of slow. Yeah, this is giving me the creeps. I don't think this is that good. Mule Skinner might be the record holder with the most games, right? Nobody's played me 150 games. This is game 140. 149. I'm good at math. 149. Not clear if I'll have time for another game, guys. I probably have to go after this. So, assuming this is a tough game, I think that you need to play B4 there. Before I have time to cross my rook to d1. And rook c8 is a good move, no doubt. I mean, you don't need to play b4, but I think you should play b4 because it's probably better than rook c8. But rook c8 is adequate. I'm sure it's a perfectly playable move. Alright, guys. Now knight to d5. I have bishop takes d5, changing the pawn structure. But then he has bishop takes g5, so that's not even that good. There is bishop b1. There's also bishop takes e7, but then he has revolving knights through e7. Well, maybe I can just take and play like knight e4 and try to play knight c5. I don't know, I didn't like bishop takes d5, bishop takes g5. Now there's nothing with knight takes d5. There's just trying to play this position with we're just going to try to play this position with knight getting to c5. But I don't think it's that good. Unfortunately here he has knight f4. Knight f4, queen d2, bishop takes e4, bishop takes e4. Maybe that's still good for me. But in any case, this isn't like necessarily devastating. But at least it's a plan. Interfering with his happy life here. Queen d2. Queen d2 is also an interesting move. I mean, there are a lot of moves. I have 2 support points for my pieces on e5 and c5. Obviously, you're aware of that. I can support this with b4. I like queen d2 as well. He's just leaving the a6 pawn hanging. Reminiscent of another Grishuk game, a very good Grishuk game, Nepomniachtchi versus Grishuk. Or was it the other way around? I guess it was Grishuk versus Nepomniachtchi. It was Grishuk, right? Grishuk Nepomniachtchi, where he sacked his queen, was a Panov, also, you know, featuring pawn sacrifice and black trying to clear the long diagonal for the bishop. That was a wonderful game from like the Russian. Was it the Russian Championship? No, Grishuk didn't play in the Russian Championship. Don't remember which tournament it was. 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours. 1,000 minutes. No? 1,000 hours. 135 times 10. 1,000 hours. I would be a mummy already. Okay, queen d2 here. Looking for those mates. Maybe bishop takes f5. We've got all our pieces working. Rook e1 and the whole family is in the game. Can someone challenge me and tell me where I go wrong? Oh, you like just looking for a game. You might find a game here, but I've got to go after this game. I've got to promptly meet my student. I'll close like in advance here, guys, because I need to get off. I'm gonna say good night or good evening for the day. We'll be back on Sunday with a simul. It's gonna be a new time, 6 p.m. CET. I know there's gonna be people who don't realize. Maybe I should send out a message to the subscribers just to maybe help everyone realize. 6 p.m. on Sunday CET, Central European Time. Where is Mule Skinner? Did he get disconnected? Because this is a really long think in this position. Black is worse here. Big time. I mean, this is hanging and I have kingside threats. Now he's threatening knight takes d4. Okay, so b4 I guess is a no-brainer. And then he has threats against my king side. Do I have a choice though? Rook e1, knight takes d4. I could take on f5. That's our choice. Taking on f5, he can't take back with the pawn. The g-pawn, he'll get mated. So he has to take back with the e-pawn there. We have like a positional advantage to some degree, but not that clear really. I mean, he'll be able to play f6 and defend his king side. He takes with the e-pawn, and it looks hard to checkmate him. Meanwhile, he's threatening this, and then take on c5. Practically forcing me to play b4. Now, I was a little concerned he has some threats with knight f4. There it is. Okay, we go knight f4, we go here. Oh no. Oh no, he has tactics. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have time for tactics. There's no time for knight takes d4, is there? Oh my goodness. Knight to e5, knight takes d4. You know, this is what I was saying. Like, I needed to be able to play. I needed to be able to play. Man, that sucks. Man, everything is coming down on me here. Wow. So now I have to play a really stupid move. Knight here. How lame is that to have to come back? He had all sorts of sacrifices on d4. That's disaster for me. So I don't know what I did wrong. I mean, I guess I could have taken on d5 or f5 and making him take with the e-pawn. Making him take. He doesn't have knight takes d4 here, fortunately. But black seems really active. So he's fully equal. That's sad but true. Maybe we can just win on time. I mean, maybe we still have some kind of advantage here. It's really optimistic, though, to think this. I'm not convinced. He's got a lot of pressure on my d4 pawn. Yeah, this I saw. Man, so now I have to take anyway. I can take here. Or bail out into this position. We have a passed pawn, for what it's worth. For what it's worth. We have the support point now. Nothing special, though. Is this even a good move? Ow. We pulled a swindle. I guess a4 would have been good there. Man. He's gonna draw this. Oh my god. He's probably holding this position now. Damn. There's no way to keep the pawn. It looks like a fortress. This is like certainly difficult to make progress. Not impossible, but it's a good move. Oh man, this is awkward. All right, Mule Skinner. I don't see how to win. I gotta go, man. You want to draw? I opt for a draw. Not just because it's time to go. It's really a draw. Anyway, I messed it up. I cannot break through. It was winning, but I made some inaccuracy there on the queen side when I was just lazily taking his pawns. I should have been a little more careful. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Sorry, guys, I didn't get to your games. It is been fun. Thanks anyway for watching. I'll be back on Sunday with the simul. Please donate and support the stream via PayPal. Check out the videos on YouTube. You can watch my uploads there. Video chess training on YouTube. Thanks again. Simul on Sunday, 6 p.m. this week. See you then. Bye-bye.